back to my channel. For today's video, ay share namin sa inyo yung aming PR application journey dito sa Canada. So, I'm with my husband today to share our experience. So, yeah, i-share muna natin sa kanila kung ano yung ating background, like professional background, para dun sa express entry profile.
So my background is in software engineering. Had 8 years experience overseas in software engineering. Had an IT bachelor's degree, and then I also had like at least 2 years Canadian experience in the same field, which is also software engineering in Canada.
Yep. So ako naman guys, ay nag-take ako ng 2 years postgraduate certificate dito sa Canada sa Pancho College. So nag-arrive kami sa Canada December 2021 and I finished my program ng August 2023 and I graduated November 2023 in postgraduate certificate in business management. And my background is in sales, business development. And then ngayon naman, i-share natin kung ano yung mga in-apply natin na pathway or PR stream dito sa Canada.
So the first pathway we applied and was OINP. I think that was human capital stream, or actually it's employer sponsored, something like that. I forgot exactly because it's been a while. And then basically your employer will sponsor you, and it's only here in Ontario, that stream. Then the second pathway was the more popular one, which is the express entry Canadian experience class, and then a subcategory of that was tech stream or tech draw.
So guys, na-invite kami ng OINT September 2023. And then, na-invite naman kami for express entry STEM pathway noong December 2023.
Yeah.
And ano yung pathway na pinursu natin?
Eventually, we chose the latter with the express entry STEM, because that was, or like the average processing time for that pathway was or is around 5 months, give or take. And then the ONP takes like around 1 year, 2 months. So yeah, that was the reason behind it. But we applied and paid for both, just to get things going. And we didn't know that we'd be invited express entry in just few months, after we submitted the ONP.
Bali guys, nagpasa kami ng requirements for both OINT and express entry. It's just that kapag na-receive mo na yung ITA for both, pipili ka lang ng isa.
Yeah. Eventually, you can apply for both pathways, but eventually you'll have to choose. Otherwise, baka magka-problema sa processing ng IRCC side, because like they'd be confused, like why this person having to like submissions. Yeah, but if you can still choose, just in case during the initial stages, one, like you made a mistake in one pathway, so at least you have some sort of background. That was our thought process why we submitted for both, just in case, because one was like provincial, and then the express entry is more like federal, so there's still some like difference in the initial submissions, difference in requirements during the initial stages. But eventually, when you get invited, then I think isa lang yung processing, which is somewhere in IRCC. Yeah.
Yun guys, so pinili namin yung express entry kasi mas mabilis din yung process niya.
Yeah.
Sa OINT, like yung waiting time.
And then
result.
Like express entry, you can, once you get your PR through that pathway, you're not limited to one province compared to ONP, which is you'll have to stay in that province just in case, so you have more options. So yeah.
And then, ano naman yung points natin sa CRS? And ano yung
Mm.
cut-off points nung STEM or tech draw during that time, December 2023?
So our points combined during that time, express entry was around 490 points, and that specific tech draw, which is like a new stream at that time or like a new initiative, that was the cutoff was only around 481 points. So like again, barely making to that cutoff, but yeah, we were ready, so we went for it.
Yeah. So, nung pinurso na natin yung STEM stream PR pathway, na-invite
Hmm.
na tayo, ano yung mga naging next steps natin?
Yeah. So when we got our invitation to apply from IRCC, that means our express entry profile got selected, and then we'll have to submit, like, I think there's 3 months deadline for you to submit all the requirements that you initially said you have this profile. That's why you got your initial points. Now this stage, the second stage, is to prove that you really do have those qualifications. For example, that you have all those 8 years of engineering experience, you have those IT background or bachelor's degree or master's, whatever, that you have like these CLB, for example, those that's the time you get your Canadian language proof that you have this English proficiency. What else? Like educational background from I think elementary to high school and stuff. So you have to prove your qualifications, your diplomas, your transcripts, your, of course, the police records. It has to be clear. So those things you need to submit during the next stage. Um, what else? From there, like your like mga identifications, like passports, birth certificates, those things that you have to submit all those identifications and other requirements um, to to really prove you have those, and then to prove that points that you have. When we got invited, let's say December or first week December, we were ready with all the requirements I mentioned earlier. We were ready to submit, and we submitted that like 2 weeks after. But the deadline was 3 months, so you could take your time. I suggest take your time, just because it's very crucial that you submit it without any errors or without any mistakes during this stage. But the thing is, we've done this before via ONT. So I was already used to it. We already double check everything because the requirements and the documents we submitted are almost identical with the previous pathway, which was the ONP. So I was more confident and more prepared. That's why we just took about 2 weeks to submit from invitation to apply in Express Entry Canadian Experience to the initial submission of those documents. So I think we submitted December 27 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yun talaga, siya yung principal applicant dun sa STEM pathway for express entry. Kasi tech draw, yung nangyari during that time, so napili kami sa tech draw, which is his profile. Tapos dependent ako dun sa express entry profile.
Yeah.
And timeline, no?
Yeah.
After nung submission ng documents, after ma-receive natin yung invitation, kailan ulit tayo nagkaroon ng notification from IRCC?
Yeah. This is I think this is important. I think the next notification we got from IRCC was related to biometrics, if I'm not wrong. So I think the next update was March. Like after 3 months, we got updates that it's time to do our biometrics. But the thing is, the special. Actually, I think our case is a bit special because we the we did it ourselves. So with DIY.
Yep.
So we did it ourselves. Is that right? DIY.
Yeah, DIY.
Yes, DIY. So we did ourselves compared to having
Agent
an agent or
or an immigration lawyer.
immigration lawyer or any support that handles these immigration stuff. So I think I should have added two more documents, which was related to family background. So after the submission of our biometrics, IRCC came back to us after 2 weeks to submit additional document requirements, so ADR, um, to submit this form, which we had to submit all our siblings, parents. Basically, it's very simple, but it will delay your application. So I'd suggest to add those forms, even if it was not asked during the application, because I was just following the form as it is. I did not add like there's a form or section there to, like others, called others. I should have added that form, like just for additional requirements. So they came back to us. They said like you need to declare all your siblings or all your like parents' background, or like those profile for siblings and where they live and etc. And then
After a month,
after a month, what else?
the travel documents.
Yeah, another additional document requirements, which again will delayed our application, related to my travel history and your
My
travel
travel
history.
history.
So every country that we
Travel to.
visited, and even if it's just 2 days, or yeah, at least 2 days, I think, if even if it's just 2 days, you have to declare it. So for 10 years of travel history, you have to declare it. So since I got a few, it took me a while, because it has to match your passport, like at least stamps, or any other countries' records, travel records. So we had to go through all our passport stamps. If you don't have it, sometimes I just had to add my like previous boarding passes or other like tickets. So the goal here is to really be transparent about like where your whereabouts, and which countries you've traveled, making sure that you didn't break any like immigration law there, or you didn't overstate. So that's what they're basically looking for.
Yeah.
Good thing here is that during that time we didn't have to redo our medical, because you came here as a student. I came here as a open work permit. So our previous medical records
Are still valid.
when we before we came here to Canada. So they reused that. Everything went well. Um, yeah, and then after that, that was, I think, the last update was April, and then after 4 months, um, of all those additional document after the additional documents request from IRCC, it took us 4 months to get another update, which was the Portal One, I think.
Portal 1.
Yeah,
And after Portal 1, after 2 weeks,
yeah,
nakareceive kami ng
Portal
Portal
Two.
2. And then, after just few days, nung na-receive namin yung Portal 2, ayun na yung ECOPR.
Yeah, that was 3 days. It took
Which is
3 days.
September 19, 2024, doon namin na-receive yung ECOPR.
Yeah,
Congratulating us na we are permanent residents in Canada. So, ilalagay ko dito guys sa screen yung timeline ng application
yeah,
process namin.
yeah.
All in all, it took 9 months from the date na naka-receive kami ng invitation sa express entry STEM pathway. So yun guys, yung naging journey namin sa aming PR application dito sa Canada. And ano naman yung tips na pwedeng mabigay natin dun sa mga viewers natin na nag-apply din ng PR dito sa Canada?
So I have two tips. I think first would be avoid at all costs um, to get requested with additional document requirements from IRCC. So that means, like for us, there was this additional family background requirements in between the application, and then the second additional document requirement was related to my or our travel history. So those two additional forms we had to submit in between our application delayed our application for about, like, let's say, a few months. So that's first step. So basically, just add those two forms or add other forms in the additional or supporting document section, and just make sure to take your time when submitting these documents, because maybe for us we rushed it a bit, so that's why we sort of didn't do enough research on these additional forms. And the second one would be to, as much as possible, if you can, stay away from, let's say, threads at Reddit or other, chat rooms about your application status. If you've already submitted your permanent residency application and you're sort of anxious, or if you're not getting any updates, I think it tends to just make it more stressful and make you more anxious. Although you get information, but it's still net negative for for the most part.
And then guys, if ever mag-create na kayo ng express entry profile. Kasi yung nangyari sa amin guys ay nag-create na kami ng express entry profile. Kaya nung nag-invite sila for tech draw nung December, na-invite na kami kasi meron na kaming profile. And then after nung na-invite na kami, doon na namin ginather lahat ng needed documents for the application process. And also guys, be patient kasi yun nga, medyo matagal yung duration ng whole process. So kailangan nyo ng maraming pasensya. And yeah, just trust the process guys kasi yun nga, ang daming nag-apply, but if you're already invited, then you have already like the chance to have that PR status in Canada. It's just that marami pa talagang pagdadaanan na, like for example, ng mga like procedures, or maybe meron pang mga notification from IRCC na kailangan yung ibigay na requirements. So sundin nyo lang yon. But of course, it takes some time. And yeah, tiwala lang guys na in time is ma-receive nyo na yung ECOPR na may congratulations. So, yeah, be patient and just trust the process. Ayun guys, hopefully nakatulong tong vlog namin sa inyo and yung mga share namin na experience sa aming PR application process. And yeah, like this video, share it sa mga friends nyo na nag-a-apply din ng PR dito sa Canada. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. See you again in my next vlog. Bye!